The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it is Monday in the Riv, and we've got a major report from Commander COVID today because things have been crazy over the weekend. So take it away, Commander COVID.
Yes. Well, let's start with, I'm going to actually start with Saturday's counts. On Saturday, we had 146,023 total cases with a new case count of 1,128. That's the largest it's been since May. Total deaths is 9,616, with the new deaths being only 8 on Saturday. Bristol County had 11,568. Now, yesterday, we had 147,120 total cases, with a total new cases of 1,097. Total deaths is 9,640, with a new deaths being at 24. And the Bristol County cases is 11,718, which is 100 and change that went up. The last count that we have from the city came in from the mayor on Friday, and we have 31 new cases to report. We are now at 2,382, and we're still at 136 deaths. So we're looking at something that, could spread out. Remember, Fall River's in the red zone, but so is Somerset now, and so are some of the communities surrounding Fall River. So the spread is going up because, according to our fearless leader in Boston and our fearless leader in Fall River, people are not taking the proper precautions. We need to take the proper precautions. So wash your hands, wear a mask.
Look, CJ, come on, CJ. It's all Donald Trump's fault. You're part of the media. Be like the rest of the media. They're waving a white flag. One of Trump's people said that they've given up, attempted to control it. They're going to work on vaccines and cures, and they're crucifying him. Oh my God, he's waving the white flag. Well, you know something? That shows how politicized this thing has become. That is the biggest pile of BS I've ever heard in my life. You should give up because you know something? Not only has the United States proved they can't follow directions, but the entire world has. Because if you're going to say that Donald Trump waved the white flag, the entire world has waved the white flag. Look what's happening in Europe. It's resurging again. It is a virus. It is a contagion. It is contagious. You have to learn you have to get something to treat it medically, because obviously from the beginning, we've been told to wash our hands and keep social distancing. And what is the new thing? They're blaming Donald Trump again. Oh, Trump, it's Trump. Trump's waving a white flag. That's terrible. Well, maybe he's actually redirecting it to where we should be looking at, because obviously the idiots in this country can't follow directions. Because what did they do after they said he waved the white flag? They had a doctor on it said, wash your hands often and maintain social distance. Well, bonehead, that's what you told us at the beginning of this thing.
Right.
So obviously we can't control this. And the only way we are gonna get a handle on it is by developing a medical treatment and hopefully a cure. Because this is what really, it just drives me nuts. How stupid do they think the American public is? How you have no ability to think critically and look at a situation. They will sell you the biggest pile of crap in the world, and you're going to slurp it down like it's chocolate ice cream. It's unbelievable. The entire world, pay attention, people. There's resurgence all over Europe. It's got nothing to do. Everything's Donald Trump's fault because it's politics. The Democratic Party is sacrificing the health and safety of the American public for to gain a political platform, and that's wrong. I'm sorry.
And they're blaming Trump. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. This is all politicized too much, and it just doesn't make any sense. But I had a conversation today with a nurse, and we were talking back and forth. And I said, according to the beliefs of many people, they think that on November 4th, after the election, this is going to go away. She goes, you don't really think that the virus is going to go away? I said, I don't think the virus is going to go away. I said, my personal opinion of the virus at this point, looking at a lot of the research that's coming out about the virus is similar to a flu. And I think that you're going to see the number of deaths in the virus similar to that we see in the flu. Every year in the flu, we see 60 to 80,000 deaths. We don't shut down cities and towns. We don't shut down businesses. We're not running around wearing masks. Granted, this virus is getting us up to over 200,000 dead. But we have to look at the fact that it's just like the flu. If they come out with a vaccine, you have 50% of the population saying they won't take the vaccine, which is the same thing they say about the flu vaccine. They're not going to take it. So what are you going to do? Mandate it? That everyone take the flu vaccine? These become very much political moves and motions to make things happen. And let me tell you something. Politicizing a disease does not effectively cause somebody to find a cure for this disease. We may never find a cure for this disease. And it's a coronavirus. So guess what? It's like the cold. It mutates. It's like the flu. It mutates. SARS was the coronavirus. H1N1. They all mutated. So you have to get with the program. And you have to understand that. It doesn't work otherwise.
Well, you know what's going to happen after the election. If Trump gets in, this will continue. If Biden gets in, all of a sudden, this will become not a major news story. It'll be Joe Biden's listening to the medical, and let's turn it over to the medical, and there's nothing Joe can do about this because we've got to listen to the medical community and blah, blah, blah. And they'll move on to covering news in a positive way because their candidate got in. And that's what's wrong. This is a health crisis. This is a crisis that's killing human beings. But the politicians, number one, are so partisan that they don't care about people. They only care about power. And that's the bottom line. But, this is what we get when we allowed what George Washington was against, a two-party system, because now this is a fight for power. It's nothing else. It's pure and absolute power. And it's a shame because we're gonna deal with some other stuff shortly. But I got to get this segue in, because I want to show you how stupid government is. We sit here on this show, and for about 8 years, we've been telling you to drain the swamp, follow the money, get rid of these people periodically, and you don't pay attention. You expect things to get better. They can't get better when you have morons running the government. The government is a place where somebody who couldn't get a job at McDonald's goes to find a career. If you got a good line of BS, if you walk around with the Blondie Stone in your back pocket, and you're good at kissing babies and shaking hands or elbow bumping now, and you got a good line of BS, you can do it. But let's look at how stupid some of these politicians are. Hirono wanted to build a bridge from Hawaii. We talked about that. That's how dumb she is. But I've got to read this because this was staggeringly stupid. This is what we have in government. This statement was actually made because I'm reading the tweet. This woman is a senator, state senator in Georgia. She's also supposed to be a lawyer and a financial consultant. This is what she wrote, and I'm reading it verbatim. Her name is Darshun, D-A-R''S-H-U-N Kendrick. She is a state senator in Georgia and a high-ranking state senator, they said. Did at real Donald Trump just say 545 kids, they can't find their parents? This is what she wrote, for come over through, quote, for come over through. So her English isn't too, I don't know if she's a lawyer, but maybe I found the only state with an easier bar than Massachusetts. Quote, cartels and coyotes, unquote, question mark. How the hell does a coyote bring a whole human being across the border? Lord, stop talking. This imbecile actually thought that he was talking about the animal, a coyote. How the hell does a coyote bring a whole human being across the border? This woman is supposed to be a politician. She doesn't know that the people that smuggle humans across the border are called coyotes. So she wants to know how a coyote can drag somebody across the border. And this woman is a senator in the state of Georgia. This is what you allow. AOC previously said you can't pull yourself up by your bootstraps. They've never heard of an expression. And then to make this even worse, to show what our colleges are doing to our students, a Harvard student, Harvard Yard, actually called Donald Trump xenophobic because he was talking badly about Mexican coyotes. There's another one that didn't know we weren't talking about an animal. He said he's xenophobic. He's even racist against Mexican animals. So this is what you got in your government, people, on every level. You got nitwits. You had Sheldon Whitehouse that didn't know what a boofer was. Who from this part of of New England doesn't know what a boofer is? He made a fool out of himself in the Kavanaugh hearings. It was all over the national news. What's a boofer? They walk around. They got their job. Yeah, a coyote. She thought a coyote was dragging people across the border. Real coyotes, feral canines. I mean, this is what we got in the government, people. This is what it's populated in. Populated with people like this. People that think you can build a bridge to Hawaii. I mean, it's appalling. If you had a plumber that was trying to fix all your pipes with crazy glue, I guess you'd hire him. Because we're hiring people to run this nation and run this state and run this city who are absolute idiots. Pay attention. For God's sakes, look at what we have in government. This is a travesty. So, okay, that's it. I had to get that one in. I mean, that is the worst one I have ever seen in my life. This moron, she said Trump to stop talking. She should stop talking. Now I know why she's a state senator and not practicing law. Because she can't even write a sentence, and she has the brain power of a mushroom cap.
I think you said that Georgia now has the lowest bar set for the bar exam.
It must be. I always thought Massachusetts gave it in crayon. They must give the Georgia bar. It must be like put the peg in the answer or something like that. I don't know, because how somebody that could make a statement like this and read the grammar. I mean, did Trump just say that 540 they can't find their parents for come over through? What the hell is? you know, and then she quotes the coyotes. But I mean,
well,
this is nuts.
What got me about the parents, the separation of parents thing, was in the debate, Trump made it quite clear that the Obama administration did the exact same thing. And how did Joe Biden answer it? We made a mistake. They didn't say that, the politicians left it at that. It was just a mistake, so we don't need to talk about it. But we can keep talking about the fact that Trump did it. Trump only followed the orders that were issued by Obama. He didn't rescind them until after there was such an outcry on it. But Obama and Biden did it. So why can't they be held to the same standard? Because it's the Democrats. The Spendo-crats don't want to hold anyone to any standard. And that's the problem.
That's right. Yeah, well, everything they do is right or a mistake. Joe Biden, it was conspicuously absent in the debate about him being talking about the Ku Klux Klan, the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, giving him a stirring eulogy, and his comments. They didn't really hammer him on his comments about he didn't want his kids going to a racial jungle for a school. But everything is a mistake. Well, it's a mistake. He's not a racist, even though you can prove far more racist behavior on his part than on Trump's part, because I don't think Trump ever gave a eulogy at the head of the Ku Klux Klan, the Grand Wizard of the KKK. Didn't stand up for racist senators and congressmen in Congress during his 47 years. He was very friendly with these people. So, I mean, if you can say you're judged by the company you keep, you would probably say he's a racist. There's far more proof that Joe Biden is a racist than there is that Donald Trump is a racist by his behavior, not his words. Because every time Joe Biden gets caught in a lie or gets caught with something, that's what he says. Oh, it was a mistake. Oh, the crime bill was a mistake. Oh, us sticking kids in cages. Oh, it was a mistake. But for Donald Trump, it's not a mistake. It's heinous behavior from somebody that doesn't deserve to be president of the United States. So you can't have a double standard. If you're gonna urinate on somebody's leg because they put people in cages, start with the person who built the cages.
Right.
And the president and the vice president who built the cages. But speaking of dumb, let's shift to Fall River. I know we've got some stuff to talk about with what's going on in Fall River. So let's go because again, Fall River is out again at the cusp of insanity.
Well, I brought up the agenda for tomorrow night's city council meeting. And they're going to have a discussion with the Director of Financial Services, Mary Sahadi, and a representative of Rosselli, Clark and Associates regarding the findings of the 2019 year-end independent audit. And then they're also going to have discussions of the proposed soils management project to be conducted by Browning Ferris Industries in conjunction with the city of Fall River. But here's the big things. Priority matter number 1. Mayor requesting confirmation of the appointment of David J. Marcello, Esquire, MPA, as city administrator. And are you ready for this one? It took many of the city councilors by surprise. The mayor did not tell them anything. I spoke with several city councilors over the weekend about this, and they did not know, and they were not happy that they were not included in this process. And to top it all off, this guy can't keep a job. He was in Millbury previously, and they let him go. And he wrote his agreement, his separation agreement. He's an attorney. So he wrote his separation agreement, and it says in his separation agreement how they have to answer reference checks and what they can't say. Meanwhile, his most recent performance evaluation says that he can't communicate with the selectmen or the departments. and that they would give him a C minus or D plus in his performance evaluation. Why does Fall River always get the crap end of everything? Why do we always take the flunkies? Why do we always take the failures? This happened a lot during the Jazel administration. A whole lot. And we're going right back to it. Why are we taking this guy? Is the mayor so weak that he has to take the first available applicant? Or was this the only applicant? Because this guy took a $15,000 a year pay cut. $15,000.
Well, remember, half a loaf is better than no loaf.
I guess so.
But CJ, remember, number one, we got another Ice House God on our hands. He's got to know somebody. So we're hiring a guy who couldn't be a town administrator in a town of Millbury. I just looked it up. The population of Millbury, Massachusetts is 13,866. 13,000 people. So can you imagine what their budget in their city has to administer? It's minuscule. And apparently he can't do that. And you know what disturbs me more about this than anything else is the fact that we heard them try to elevate the salary so we could get great candidates. Listen, nobody's coming to work in Fall River. Any city administrator that actually knows city administration will not come to this city. They know what a disaster this city is. They're going to look at that, quote, independent audit, which is intentionally branded that way so they can say, you see, our books are okay. But those people were hired to go over the numbers that they were given by the city. It's not a forensic audit. Right. They're not going to dig in and ask for proof. They're going to take the numbers. So that audit is bullshit. So now you think anybody's going to come to this city? No. So we're going to hire another dud, like the guy with the cranberry sport coat. Remember John, whatever the hell's name was that we hired?
Yep.
And every time he walked up in front of the council, he never had a number.
Right.
Yeah. What's the number? I don't have them with me now, just like they do now. I mean, you wonder why Fall River can't get out of its own way? We can't hire anybody. What they should do is eliminate the CFO at 100 and whatever she's getting now.
$140,000
and actually post the salary. And, they had an opportunity. When Alan Silver came up, when Coogan took office, he said he would stay here and help them find somebody that could actually handle the job. So they're going to hire this guy that has a abysmal record. Look what we do. We hired a superintendent of schools. And by the way, we've never heard about the issue, so I guess they buried that one. They threw dirt on that complaint. But we hired a superintendent that had been basically fired from every job he ever had, or his contract was not renewed. The only job he ever held was a political job with Deval Patrick. We hire an Ice House God to run a DCM. We all know how that worked out.
Yep.
We hired another guy for DCM, and that blew up. Now we're going to hire a city administrator to administer a city of Coogan saying closer to 100,000 people, and he couldn't handle Millbury. 13,000, well, we'll round it off. What is it? 13,800. Close enough. It's past 5. We'll round up. 14,000 people. 14,000 people. He couldn't handle that city. So you know what he's going to do? He's going to go in and listen to Mary Sahadi. She's going to tell him, she's going to give him the lay of the land. This is what we're doing. This is the numbers. You just go in there and you parrot this. The guy's an attorney. He's looking for a job as a city administrator. Apparently, he's not a good enough attorney to make a living as an attorney. This is what we hire. This is what we hire in the city of Fall River. We hire people that are just can't handle the job. Can't handle the job. I mean, we hired Sean Kadeem. He didn't have any municipal experience, but Sean Kadeem's, an intelligent guy. He actually learned a job. He got his on-the-job training at Fall River. So what did he do? He did what any smart administrator can do that actually learned his job. He got the hell out of Dodge. He got out of this circus where he has to juggle numbers and try to find money all day. And he went over to a nice, rich little town. See, that's the way it works with these guys. It doesn't work this way. You don't come from a town like Seekonk and put more headaches for less money. You don't come to a bigger city where your job's going to be a lot tougher unless you can't get a job. I mean, wake up. Damn. These people are just, they're ridiculous. This is ridiculous. No,
the interesting thing was prior to Millbury,
maybe we can get an assistant city administrator.
Prior to Millbury, he worked in Rehoboth. And he claims 10 plus years as a city administrator or town administrator. Again, Rehoboth is not
Rehoboth. Well, how many people are there in Rehoboth? Oh, I got to look that one up.
I don't know.
I'm looking it up, CJ. I'm looking it up.
I know. 12,265.
What's that?
12,265.
Oh, you got it quicker than me. My phone's slow. Okay. Yep. 12. So he went from 12,000 to 14,000. And those are the cities he worked in, and he couldn't work there. So, yeah, I guess your stats, I'm looking at that. I think I got about the same thing. But it's just not city council. Wake up, will you? I hope you do something about this. Let's not hire anybody unless you actually think they can do the job. And I've always contended that if you're hiring a city administrator, we got to get rid of the CFO. Because we had this city when we had a lot more employees and actually a lot more money, and we only had a city administrator. We had Alan Silva, we had Bob Connors, we had Jim Smith. There was no CFO. But all we know how to do is spend money. We just keep the train going, the gravy train.
Well, I have to now go on to the next item, the Bank Street Armory. The mayor wants to transfer the Bank Street Armory from the city side to the RDA, which means that the city won't sell it, which gets the mayor off the hook of selling it to his friend developer and send it to RDA, who will sell it for big bucks, and they'll get to keep the money, and Fall River will get the shit end of the stick again. But here's the thing. The Bank Street Armory has taken money from the CPA. Now, I've just gotten a statement from Jim Sewell regarding the Bank Street Armory. The Preservation Society is just short of public support. We're considering a position statement, but we haven't heard from the developer in person as in yet. What we do know is that the preservation restriction deed is attached to the deed. Any purchaser would have to uphold it. We also believe then that the development plan has to be advantageous to the downtown. But the mayor already had a buyer. This is why it's alleged or suspected that he cleared the park board, because the park board has to act first on dissolving themselves from the Bank Street Armory. I've spoken to several city councils about this. They all say the same thing. They're not thrilled with the fact that this is happening. Some are absolutely against it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Because again, when the city sells a property, we sell it for $5,000 if we're lucky. But the RDA sells them for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And Fall River should be doing the same thing. But for some reason, Matt Thomas doesn't want it.
But listen, the reality is, and the big question to me is, council, if you're listening, what happened? CPA paid twice to have that roof fixed. Did it ever get fixed? And why didn't it get fixed with the first time we gave them money? And didn't they say they used that money for something else? They used that money for a city department?
Chris Gallagher said he backfilled his budget. Chris Gallagher said he backfilled his budget.
That is illegal.
Right. Well, we're out of time. We're really out of time, Chip. Chip, we're really out of time. Hey, thanks for letting us into your home. We appreciate it. We hope we gave you a little bit of information. Watch the city council meeting on Tuesday, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Have a great day. Remember, stay safe and stay angry.
About the Bank Street Armory.